Welcome to the Galloping Rabbit, where everyone becomes a great quilter. In this video, we'll teach you how to sew accurate seam allowances so you'll be able to create perfect pieced blocks. Accurate piecing is your insurance that your final quilt will come together perfectly and become a treasured heirloom. Even the smallest error in piecing results in blocks that don't fit together. Incorrect seam allowance means that points don't match or blocks of different sizes,
resulting in wasted time and a quilt that's difficult to quilt.
However, once you master this technique, your pieced quilts will come out perfectly, rewarding your efforts with beautiful quilts. Being able to sew with accurate seam allowances makes quilting easier and more fun. The rule of thumb in quilting is 1/4 of an inch seam allowance, but actually, most accurate seam allowance is less than 1/4 of an inch. This is referred to as a scant 1/4 inch seam allowance. This scant 1/4 of an inch compensates for the fabric taken up in the fold and around the thread when you press your seams.
The actual size of the seam allowance is determined by the fabric and thread thickness, so you need to do this test for every quilt you do.
In all our kits, we provide you with a bunch of perfectly cut 1½ inch squares. Take 5 1½ inch squares and sew them together. Press the seams open. The finished size of the 5 should measure exactly 5½ inches. If your set doesn't measure 5½ inches, adjust your seam allowance and try with another 5 pieces of fabric until it does. If you adjust your needle position, make a note of that position on your sewn fabrics and keep it with your machine. If you've adjusted where the fabrics are fed under the presser foot, use painter's tape or an adhesive seam guide on your needle plate to mark the new seam allowance. Do all of your piecing using this guide and your finished blocks should be much more accurate. Accurate piecing is a fundamental skill that lays the foundation for making beautiful quilts. Sharp points and accurate intersections are the hallmarks of quality in pieced quilting. Accurate piecing means you can create complex blocks with confidence, create stars with sharp points, and even create beautiful circles and curves. Accurate piecing is the first step to becoming a great quilter. In our next video, Straight Stitch Piecing, you will build on this skill as you learn how to perfectly piece rows and columns. Thanks for joining us and have fun quilting.